Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best free cards in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM here on this tier list. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 12,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. That being said, without further ado, let's hop right into it. If there's any free cards that I did not include on this tier list, and you'd like to know where I would rank them, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll let you know. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. We got Invincible Nikola Jokic, who is an S tier card. The reason I include this playoffs Jokic is even though he is auctionable and he's not technically a free card, there are three different ways that you've now been able to get this card. You could get him from a lock code last week when the final started, another lock code that came out a couple days ago and is still available, and from Spotlight Challengers. So there were three ways to get this Nikola Jokic card for free. So I'm including it as a free card because if you don't have him for free at this point, I don't know what you're doing, because you can literally type in a locker code right now and pick this card. And once he is fully evoed, he literally has 55 Hall of Fame badges, basically invincible stats and badges across the board. Is an incredibly complete card with every single badge in the game. This Pascal based Oscar up run very quick is one of the best releases in the game. Steph size up, John Wall escape, Lillard behind the back, normal leaner. Really great all-around card. He is a top-tier big man in my team right now, especially at the power forward position. I understand he's only 6'11", so I guess theoretically a tiny bit undersized, but he is an S-tier card at this position for sure. Allen Houston is okay. I would not say he's great. B or C tier, like he's not amazing, but he's not a bad card either. I'll go B for Allen Houston. I think he's probably gonna end up low B. Not a great option, but he is, I guess, 6'6", the shooting guard position with decent all-around stats and badges. Solid enough defender, not incredible, but he does have Trey escape, T Max size up, a little behind the back, so very good saves. This kiss per base is pretty good and quick drop, so animation wise pretty solid. Stats and badges aren't bad either. He's a B tier guy in my opinion. Artist Gilmore is an S tier center, or an S tier free card anyway. I don't know if he's S tier at the center position, probably more A tier, but 7'2" with an afro that makes him look about 7'3" or 7'4". Good speed, solid shooter, very, very good defensive card. Does need limitless range, add maybe a couple other shooting badges, which I would recommend adding to him, but he's got a nice release, normal leaner, solid enough movement actually as well, which is kind of glitchy for a 7'2" guy. D-Mitch size up, wall escape, Lillard behind the back is really nice, and then quick drops off one as well. Definitely one of the better non-true giant centers in the game, and I think he's a really good card. Bill Laimbeer has one of the worst releases in the game. Actually, he might have the worst release in the game. I despise Bill Laimbeer's release. It is so bad. That's all I'm going to say about the card. He's D tier, and I like by far, no doubt about it. Bobby Jones probably goes C tier. Bobby Jones' biggest flaw is that he's not an elite shooter. He's only got a 77 shot three. Needs some shooting badges added, but you get a shoe, a coach, you're going to get that up close to 90, get the shooting badges on him. He's going to be fine as a shooter. Don't like the Dwight Howard base, though. He does have very nice sigs, quick drops, and is an elite level defender. One of the best defensive small forwards in the game, but at only 6'9", he doesn't have incredible size. I mean, I just wish he was a little bit better shooter and had a better release. That's probably his biggest flaws, and for that reason, I'm going to put him low C, maybe even high D. We'll see if we end up moving him down. Bob Nedelicki is borderline S tier to me. I'm not actually sure if I would put him S tier, which is a little bit... does Bob go S tier? I'm looking at the cards in this list. I don't know if he's a top 5 free card on this list. I think he's really good, but there's also some other really good cards on this list that I think are definitely top 5. He might be 5th. I'm giving it to him. I'm giving it to him for now. I'm going to put him S tier. I'm not sure he'll actually wind up staying in the S tier, but we're going to put him there. He does have incredible sigs for a small forward with Francis size up. I think he's got John Wall escape. He's got that O'Shea Brissett base, which is, in my opinion, the best base in my team right now, or at least he has the best O'Shea Brissett base in my team. It's not actually the best release, but it's a top 5 release in the game for sure. Absolutely incredible. He's an amazing card, and he does deserve a spot pretty high up on this list. Borderline A to S tier. Really, really good option at the small forward position. Again, a little undersized at 6'9", but still a great card. Bob Pettit, B tier, 6'9" again, so again, kind of undersized, but he is another big, kind of like Bob Nedelicki. Not quite as good of a release as Nedelicki, not quite as good movement. I think he's a solid card. I think B tier is fair for him. I'm also going to go B tier for Danny Ferry. Danny Ferry, very high B, maybe even... Does Danny Ferry deserve? No, I'm going to put him B still. I'm going to put him B, and I'm actually going to move Bob down to A because I think there are a couple guys that I would put over Bob in the S tier still that I'm looking at. But Danny Ferry is going to go high B for me. I mean, very, very good card. Has 6'10", great frame, great release, really good card, moves well, solid defender. Probably the best card in B tier, at least right near the top. David Thompson's going to go C tier, 6'4" PG. I actually think he might even wind up going down to the D tier. I don't love this card, to be honest, but he is very fast and elite slasher, has a very nice release. Normal leaner, pretty good sigs. I think he's good enough to stay C tier. Not one of the worst cards on this list. Derek Coleman is okay, but again, probably C, maybe low B. Not an amazing card. He does have pretty good size at 6'10", which is nice, but he's not super fast. The Jared Allen base Oscar upper is very nice. Sigs are okay, not great. Quick drops off one is super nice. I mean, low B, high C. I think that's fair. Earl's also going to go... Actually, I'm going to put Earl A because I know he's only 6'5", but he does actually do a lot of things really, really well. Like, he's got really good sigs, a great release. I think he's a very, very good shot-creating shooting guard. Is he Really A, though? I think that might be gassing it a little bit. I don't know. We might wind up moving him down to B, but he's a very solid card. Definitely still deserving of a pretty good spot on this list. Borderline A, borderline B. He's basically free Vince Carter is how I would describe the card. Hakeem's going to go C because I don't love his release, and I don't think he's got elite movement either. He's still a very good defensive big man, but he's only 7 foot, so he doesn't have incredible size, and he's not an elite mover or have elite SIGs or an elite release or anything like that. So, yeah. Horace Grant, probably S tier for Horace. I think that's probably fair. Would I put him S? I almost don't even know. It's kind of tough there with Horace Grant. He's a good card, but I mean, 6'10 with elite movement. He's basically Alonzo Mourning, except a little bit better, which, by the way, Alonzo Mourning is a card who I forgot to put on this list. I'm just now realizing that. That is a guy who 100% deserved to be on this list, and that is my fault that I forgot to include him, so I do apologize for that. But with that being said, does he deserve a spot? I don't know. S tier might be gassing it a little bit. I'm really not even entirely sure. I'm trying to decide between S and A if I want to put where I want to put Horace Grant. I think we'll leave him S for now. No, I'm going to put him A. I think I'm going to put him A. I think that's the fairest spot to put him right now, but we might wind up moving out to S. I think Sigma's a little better than Horace, which is why I put him S, and I put Horace A. I just think that's a little bit fairer to put him there. Not a bad card by any means, but, I mean, Sigma's got an insane release. That's my favorite thing about Sigma. I think he's got one of the best releases in the game in terms of a pick and pop, but honestly, in terms of period as a card, I love his catch and shoot release. He's also a very good defender, and his player build makes him look bigger than 6'11", which I think is also a pretty big deal, and one of the reasons that I like the card as much as I do. So Sigma's going to go S tier for me, which means Horace, I feel like, might have to go A because I see a couple guys that I put over him. Drew Holiday's release isn't good, which is why Drew Holiday goes down in the D tier. Not a bad card, but does have a bad release, and that is a pretty big issue, I feel like, considering that he is only 6'4" as well. You got to have a good release, and at this point, he does not have that. So for me, we're going to put him down in the D tier, one of the worst cards on this list, unfortunately. Michael Finley's S tier. He's one of the best shot-creating shooting guards in the game. I feel like he's on the level of a guy like Terry Dishinger, in my opinion, the best free shooting guard in the game. Really, really nice card for sure. I would put him, I mean, he's definitely S tier, and I think he's a borderline top 5 small forward shooting guard in the game. Really, really good card at his position. Mitch Richmond, I think this card blows. Like, I used him in a gameplay, and I was absolutely struggling to work with him. His release is okay, he moves okay, but he's not amazing in either area, and I mean, he is just not a special card at all in any specific aspect. Does not really do anything particularly great on the court, in my opinion. A D tier might be gassing a little bit, but I do not like the card. I really think he sucks. I'm going to put him D tier. Nat Clifton is going to go... He's 6'6", so he's really small, very undersized, which does matter, but is he D tier? I don't know. I feel like D tier might be a little bit low still, even with him only being 6'6", because of the fact that, like, I don't know. He does move well, and he's got a really nice release, so he's got some things going for him. I just think he has... 6'6" is so small at the small forward position at this point. I'm sorry. I'm putting him high D. I really think that's the fairest spot for him. And I'm looking at the rest of the cards in this list, and I'm not really sure any of them are quote-unquote worse, so I don't know. I'm going to have to go D tier for him. I think that's the fair spot to put him. Nikola Jokic goes C for me. Nikola Vucevic, not Jokic. He's the exact same card as Hakeem. Well, not exact, but they're very, very similar. Like, they're damn near the same card. They play very, very similar in game. For me personally, I think that's the fairest spot to put. Vucevic is in that same spot, C tier as Hakeem. Purvis Ellison goes B. It's next to Bob Pettit, Danny Ferry. They're all pretty much opinion between those three cards. Whoever you think is the best of those three is really up to you. Rick Smits is going to go S tier. He's the best card on this list, in my opinion. The second or third best center in the game, depending on how you compare him to Yao Ming. He is an absolute monster, definitely really deserving of a pretty high up spot on this list, and I think he's the best card on this list, to be completely honest, and I think he's one of the better cards in the game, like a top 10 card in the game. I hope you got him from RNG. I personally did not, because I didn't play the game very much in the first couple days of this season, which is something, or first couple weeks of this season, I should say, which is something that in all honesty I do regret, because he is an absolutely amazing card, and I would really, really like to have him on my team now, but unfortunately I do not, and I have nobody to blame for that but myself, so he is S tier, but I don't have the card, unfortunately. Sean Elliott, A tier, probably. Yeah, I think A still. His release is a little wonky, but it is still really good, really smooth, really solidly fast. Like, I wouldn't say it's a bad release at all. It's a very good release, actually. I just think it's a little weird for me. I don't know if that's just my opinion or if that's something that y'all would agree with as well. For how those y'all have used the card, but he's good enough to be A tier. Also, Steven Jackson, also good enough to be A tier. A very, very good card for sure. And I mean, I don't know. I think they're both very, very solid cards and deserve to be A tier. I'm looking at the guys left. I think Sean Elliott's got to move down. I'm not going to lie, which means Derek Coleman also has to move down. I got to move some guys down just a little bit, I think, because Steve Smith's better than Sean Elliott, and I think Steven Jackson is too. Steven Jackson's 6'8" with a really nice player build. Sean Elliott's also 6'8", but doesn't really look the same in terms of being 6'8", so I think that's the way I'm going to do it. And then I'm also going to put Zion in the A tier. Despite being only 6'7", he's got a player build that really no other 6'7" players in the game have in terms of his size and the way he plays. I think he's a really, really nice card who is honestly very deserving of being an A tier guy despite being only 6'7", because he plays much bigger than 6'7", super wide player build, really nice release, great movement, all that stuff. Really, really good free card still in my team. He is a legitimately very good level 40 reward. We haven't gotten very many of those this year, so that is a W for sure. But with that being said, that is going to do it for this tier list. Let me know what you think of my tier list in the comment section down below. If there's anybody you think I rank too high or too low or anything like that, feel free to let me know, and I'll be back with more NBA 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.